My bad, brother. You called me right as soon as I started the live stream. Hopefully you see this and you know why I didn't answer. I just started the live stream right when you called back, brother. I'm sorry. I gotta wait until I get to the next red light to check and see if we got anybody in here yet. Yeah, I'll bumble to myself for a second. I don't know if anyone's in here yet, but I'll wait till we get up here to the next stoplight to check. But yeah, wanted to give everybody a little update on what happened at court today and what's going on, things like that. We've got some good news, we've got some bad news, we've got some news that's indifferent. But yeah, damn, we're getting all the green lights today. Let's get it, baby. Cool. I'm getting ready to pull into this parking lot up here. Just give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. I'm sure we got a couple of folks in here. I'm sure Brother Lou's in here. Brother Lou, I can feel your energy, brother. I can feel the positive energy flowing. Yeah. All right. Let me pull over so I can talk to y'all real quick. All right. Okay. Let's see. What's up, Brother Lou? My man wasn't here. I knew it. I could feel the positive energy. Brother Lou keeping the swine in line. John Denicola. What's up, Charlie? How you doing? James Joseph, man. What's up? Clark Kent, my man, got the glasses on. Look just like me, brother. How you doing? Uh, Dolores Claiborne. What's up, Dolores? Joe, my man. Steve P. White girl. What's that? Irish Rover in Florida. What's up, brother? Kate Breton Cotwatch. How's everybody doing? Ty Simmons Gordy. What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Alrighty. Now that we are stationary and parked, I can kind of give a little bit more of an update here. Take this dumbass seatbelt off real quick too. Okay, so ultimately I had court today. I don't even know if it's going through this or you guys just hear me there either way, but second day home from three-way heart bypass. This is a nice update. Hope your health is getting better. Damn, TAC Dad, glad to hear you're back home, brother. Glad to hear the surgery went well. Everybody, pray for my man. Send some good vibes and good energy his way. That way he heals and has a quick recovery process. Look out for my man. Lou, is there any way that you can post that comment? Maybe I can do it. Maybe I can pin this message. There we go. Everybody send some good vibes my man's way. So ultimately today I had a court date and it was for the stuff with Annapolis City. It happened last year where I went to the city hall to file a new records request as well as check the status of one that I had put in, I don't know, like a week, or it was 10 business days before that, so probably like 2 weeks. Um they had a new lock on the county attorney's door. They had a sign saying that you now had to have an appointment in order to get any type of service or drop off any type of form or request. When I went upstairs to the mayor's door and knocked on that because they told me it's always open, nobody answered. You could see silhouettes of people behind the door moving, whispering about he doesn't know if you work here or not, locking the doors. It was all just very weird, very awkward encounter based on the last 8 times I was there and how it went. This time was completely different. So I ultimately placed a call for a wellness check. They told me someone was coming out. Nobody ever came out. I called back a second time to ask for a wellness check. They said somebody was coming out to speak to me. Nobody ever actually came out to speak to me. Eventually, someone did come out from behind the mayor's door. It was this bald head dude. Actually, I seen this dumbass earlier. After court, I was driving down the street and I seen his big bald headed ass. But anyway, um, he comes out from behind the door, and at this point, it's like I don't know, 4:25. They closed at 4:30, so they've been making me sit there for an hour. They're like, "What do you need? I'm busy. I'm doing work." Whole time he's talking to his mom on the phone. Then I'm so dumb on social cues, I didn't even pick up on it at first when he's like, "We can go outside and talk after work," and I was like, "Oh." okay, thank you, because they're shutting down in 4 or 5 minutes. And he's like, yeah, outside after work. And I'm like, oh, he's talking about fighting me. Jesus Christ. All right, sure. Yeah, we'll go outside. And he's just, talking dumb shit the whole time, having the security guard hold him back, talking about, I'll smack this shit out of him, this, that, and the third. And I had told the other lady that worked inside too, like, the police told me to wait right here. I'm staying right by the door until the police come. They charged me with ultimately trespassing at both a private and a public place. What was it? It was public property and private property after business hours. They also charged me with making a false statement to an officer for asking for a wellness check. And then they also charged me with burglary in the fourth degree, which is just a misdemeanor. So today was the court date for that. When I went to court, they had already dropped the trespass private property because it's not private; it's a public space. It was City Hall, and they had also dropped the what other one did they drop? They had also dropped the burglary in the fourth degree charge as well. So today, when I went to court, I was only going forth on the trespassing public agency after business hours and making a false statement to an officer. And literally all the way up until today, I was very adamant that we were fighting all of this. Uh, I had shot down every deal that the state had tried to come up with because it was all just bogus deals. It was like, it, it was shit that I was not about to accept when I knew that I hadn't done anything wrong. Now, looking at the statute for the false statement to an officer, while I didn't make any false statements, they're trying to say that because I had asked him to come out there and perform a wellness check, one of the uh, elements of the crime for that statute is making or knowingly making a false statement to an officer in an attempt to have an investigation started. So, like, I didn't believe it was an investigation. So, the whole time I was very adamant that I was fighting this. I was not taking any of this bullshit, da 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 da. So when I woke up this morning, for whatever reason, my body decided that we were going to be sick as shit. So I woke up and threw up for the first, I don't know, hour and a half of my day. I ended up getting to court 30 minutes late. Luckily, the judge didn't know that he had a criminal docket until 9 o'clock, and he was 45 minutes away, so he did not get there till 9:45. So even though I showed up at 9 and was 30 minutes late, I was still almost an hour early. So thankful for that. But yeah, I just felt like, yeah, fuck you, Lisa, suck my dick. So I felt like ass and just I don't know, man. I just was not ready for this fucking 2 day trial. So I go in there, they try to come back at me again with another plea deal of pleading to the trespass for it was some dumb shit. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So we got all the way down to the other courtroom from the traffic controller room. You go to the first courtroom and the traffic controller will say, okay, if you filing motions, you'll go to this courtroom. If you're doing a trial, you go to that courtroom. Uh, Plea deals and this, that, and the third will stay here, blah, blah, blah. So I get downstairs to the room where I'm supposed to be, and the judge comes out. Everybody has their little meeting. He goes back behind the room. We're waiting for the jury numbers to come up. So at this point, we're about to start selecting jury again or a jury for the first time. I end up going and getting sick again while at the courthouse. So now I'm throwing up at the courthouse as well, having to make trips to the bathroom and back. At that time, a new deal was proposed for me to make an Alfred plea to the trespassing charge, and they would allow me to what was it? At first, he tried to say that he wanted me to do 100 hours of community service, and I'm like, what? Then he dropped it to 50, and I'm like, no, I am not doing 50 hours of community service. Y'all are out of your mind. Da 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 da. Like, I'm fucking disabled right now. This is bullshit. So then they came back and they said that they would let me do an Alfred plea to a to the trespassing charge. At that time, I could get a suspended sentence. Yeah, so a suspended sentence because I already served 60 days in the other trial where I was found not guilty on. So they suspended any bit of sentence that was ever going to come with that, if any did come. They were going to put me on an unsupervised probation that runs concurrent with the unsupervised probation that I'm already on, which is the same exact time. And they were going to allow me to use the work with the youth basketball program around here that I'm doing this fall/winter to constitute as the community service hours. So I agreed that I would do 20 hours of community service in the form of working with the youth basketball program around here if I could use that. They said, yeah, you can use that. It doesn't have to be a nonprofit. You can do the community service wherever you want, as long as you have it documented, videoed, something, some sort of documentation that you actually did these hours. So if you agree to do these hours, then we will suspend the sentence, allow you to run a concurrent unsupervised probation, and then also do the hours that I'd already planned on doing. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I sat there and I thought about it. I thought about it. We kind of debated it for a little bit. And then ultimately, they came back with the fact that after a year, if I were to complete the community service hours, then I could actually have the charge expunged off my record. And I'm like, okay, well, hold on now. If I can get the charge taken off my record and I can already use the community service, or I can already use the work I'm doing with the youth sports program to count as the community service, then it doesn't really affect my life at all right now. It doesn't change anything. I don't have to go to any new programs. So ultimately, I took a plea deal in the situation. I copped out. I took the deal from them and chose not to go through with the trial. Uh, I know a lot of people might be upset with that, might be mad at me for that, but it is what it is. As I sat there and thought about it, I could get found guilty on both these charges, and I'm already at circuit court. So I can't just appeal that down to a jury trial. I would have to appeal that to the appellate court of Maryland. And then I would have to have a good reason. You don't just get like a whole new trial and appeal it. There has to be a reason, like the judge allowing some evidence in that was uh, like what's the word I'm looking for, that was like harmful to you. There has to be an exact reason. The tribe. Okay, so I ultimately took an Alfred plea to the trespassing charge. So for the next year, they're going to consider me guilty of trespassing. Now, after 1 year, as long as I complete the work that I'm doing with the program, the youth sports program, I can actually have that charge lifted. So it won't be guilty. It won't be not guilty. It'll be just completely gone off the record as if it never existed. But yeah, for the next year at least, I am considered guilty on that charge. Goes down to endurance. The prosecutor is paid. Yeah, they are. They're getting paid to be there. And ultimately, I didn't have any type of private counsel. I had a public defender, and while she is an amazing public defender, it was the one who just won my case against the Capitol Police like a month and a half ago or whatever. We went to trial on that. She's very good. She's very thorough. She's very what's the word? She like viciously fights for my freedom. So she's very good, vigorously is what I was looking for. So she's very good at what she does. And like at the end of the day, man, I just like sat there and had to be real with myself. I'm like, okay, if I can take this situation where I can get it taken off my record in a year, I can use work that I'm already doing to constitute as the community service that they want me to do. And there's no type of supervised probation. There's no type of jail time or anything like that. They're ultimately going to allow the probation that I'm already on to run concurrent with what he said today. So for the next year, and I think actually it doesn't even have to be a year. It might only be like 9 months or something like that. They've changed a lot of stuff here in Maryland. So if you're on like 18 months of probation, you only end up doing like 12 to 14 months of it. They give you like good time on it, da da da. So I just had to weigh the options, ultimately look at it for what it was, and accept the fact that I was a little unprepared. I went in there without private counsel. I had a public defender, and it was something that is going to ultimately work out for me in the long run while it doesn't at this moment. So yeah, right now I am technically found guilty. Like I said, I do have to do these community service hours. I can use the work that I'm already doing with the youth sports program around here to work for that. But the biggest thing is that in 1 year, as long as I finish those work hours, I can have the judge revisit the case and grant that as a PBJ, which means I'll be able to have that expunged off my record. And that was the biggest thing. So if I go to trial and I win, then nothing is on my record. Cool. But if I go to trial and lose, then potentially both of those charges are on my record. One of them is on my record. However, it played out. And the other charge was a false statement to an officer. So, like for instance, if I ever get called as a witness for someone else's sake in a court case in the future, that would come up as me not being uh, a trustworthy witness because I had made a false statement to an officer before. So just like looking at it and being like, okay, I can go to trial and potentially be found guilty on both of these charges, or I can do what I'm already doing, not change my life at all, do the work that I'm already doing with the kids, and then in a year have this expunged off my record. It ultimately worked out for everybody. So again, I know people are probably going to be upset. There's going to be those of you who are pissed off and they're like, "Oh, he copped out. He took the plea deal." Yeah, I did. I took the plea deal in this situation. It was a very good plea deal. It allowed me to do what I was already doing, not change anything, and also have these charges expunged off my record. Sorry, not charges, charge. The one charge expunged off my record in a year from now. So I was like, "Fuck it, dude. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna suck it up and do it." Again, like I was also throwing up this morning at the court thing, so I wanted to get that shit over with. They wanted to get that shit over with. Everybody wanted to get the hell out of there. I know nobody wanted to go through a 2 or 3 day trial. It was like 11 o'clock, and we hadn't even started jury selection yet. So we were probably going to be breaking for lunch before we even finished jury selection. So we definitely would have been a 2 or 3 day trial when it came down to it. And they weren't prepared for it. The state was. Uh, I just physically was not prepared for that shit today. Um, and yeah, they had worked out this deal, and it was something that fancy tickled. What's the word? Fancy, you know what I'm saying? It tickled my fancy or whatever the hell it is. So yeah, it was ultimately something that made me sit back and go, all right, hold on now, because I have been very adamant. Anytime they had tried to present a plea deal or any type of like negotiation before this, I was just straight up like, F no, I'm not doing that. F that, I'm not doing it. I didn't do anything wrong. Da 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 da. I didn't even really want to hear what the hell they had to say before this, but I don't know, man. It kind of made sense. So I sat and thought about it for a minute, and I ultimately took the situation that worked out the best for me uh, in my current situation. Again, if I had private counsel, and I went and spoke to a couple different attorneys, I just ultimately didn't have two bands to put up for that right now. So I just took it for what it was, man. So I maybe if I had private counsel, I could have went in there and fought it and got a different outcome. But there's no guarantee at that point that it does. You know what I mean? Like I said, the public defender is very good. Uh, she was very like vigilant in the way she did her job at our last trial. So I had no reason to not believe that she was going to be very adamant in fighting for my freedom in this trial as well. But yeah, man, it was what it was. So this was ultimately the last trial that I had in Anne Arundel County. So as of right now, everything that I had in Anne Arundel County is completely closed out. I still have the appeal trial in Calvert County, which I am taking to trial. They tried to offer me a plea deal where I could uh, I could use the 6 days I served after the last court date. They held me in custody for 6 days because the paperwork was a bunch of bullshit on getting bailed out. Da 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 da. They did that shit on purpose. So point being, they were like, "Oh well, we'll give you those 6 days served as your full sentence, and we'll just give you 2 years of probation." And I'm like, "What? Fuck no! I'm fighting this shit. I sat here and appealed this. Y'all You sat there and amended the docket to change the amount of time I had as the full punishment. That way, I couldn't pay a jury trial, so you could force me in a trial that day. Like, y'all did some shady shit, and you stole my cameras. Like, no, I'm not giving it to you. You know what I mean? I'm fighting this shit. So, yeah, no, they'll be all right. I'm fighting that against that on the park back here in the shade. I drove up to grandma's house. She just had a hip replacement. It's been almost 3 weeks now, but yeah, she just had a hip replacement. So I try to stop by whenever I'm up this way in Arnold, check on her, make sure she's all right. Don't need the trash cans taken up or down. Don't need anything clean. I'll come here. It might sound dumb, but she's like 4'11", so I'll come here and put the dishes away for her, and then just go. And she's like, "Oh my God, thank you." Why not ask for a continuance if you weren't ready? So they were not going to give a continuance at all. They didn't even give me a continuance last time because I had a doctor's appointment. So I had a doctor's appointment on the same day as the trial 3 weeks ago. Maybe, yeah, it was 3 weeks ago. And we had tried to file motions for postponements. We even showed up that day and asked for a postponement. At the time, we had the evidence. We had a letter from my doctor saying that I had an appointment. And even then, the judge was like, "No, I'm not granting the postponement. This needs to go to trial right now." Da 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 da. So they didn't grant it last time when I had a doctor's letter and an actual like thing. If I went in there today and just said, "Oh, I'm not ready," they would have said, "That's bullshit. What do you mean you're not ready? The state's ready and their witnesses are here. You're going to trial," and they would have fucked me. Well, I mean, there's no saying that they would have fucked me. I would have had to go to trial like normal, and I could have won the trial, but I also could have lost the trial. So if they presented me an option that allowed me to not do anything different than I was already doing in my everyday life and have the ability to get it expunged a year from now, then that was a great opportunity, and it was something that I took. Absolutely. Like as much as I sit here and I'm like, they did this on purpose, they did that on purpose, they don't like me, da 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 da. Like the state's attorney, the two people that were there today, at least, it wasn't the original lady Elizabeth Ferraro. It was a different lady named Casey Marson. It was a different lady named Casey Marson. Sorry, someone was walking up to the car, and they were very nice. Like God, I can't think of the guy's name, but they were both very, very cool. It wasn't like they were out to get me. It wasn't like they were scheming on me or trying to fuck me over. They were cool. They were nice. And then even when we left the courtroom, the guy was like, "All right, Terrence, now you're all done with your stuff, right?" And I go, "And the rondo," and he's like, "Oh, you got another one? What's going on?" So I mean, they were cool, dude. They don't. I don't know. They weren't in there trying to like personally fuck me because they don't like me because I make videos. And oftentimes I think that a lot. I'm like, "Oh, they're taking it out on me or they're personally prosecuting me this way or doing this to me because I make the videos." But it really didn't seem that way today. They were both very respectful, both very helpful. When I was getting sick, the guy went and got me a trash can and brought a trash can. I'm like, "Yeah, I need that joint." So they're cool, man. They're cool. So for them to be able to work something out for me so I could again not change my life as it was, they could technically prosecute me and get a guilty plea. I could uh ultimately not have to serve any sentence, not have any supervised probation, use the work that I was already doing, and have it expunged in a year. Then it worked out for everybody. They got their win. I got the loss for the moment right now, but in a year, it'll ultimately be, I guess, like a draw. I technically was found guilty for a year, and I had a concurrent super or a current unsupervised probation to run with the one that I'm already on. So it's like technically I lost, but again, it doesn't change anything that I'm doing or like affect my life in any way, shape, or form right now. So it's a win at the end of the day. I would call it a draw if anything. I would call it a draw, but yeah, man, that was what it is. So what was the benefit for this endeavor? I'm not even sure what you're asking, brother. What do you mean the benefit of this endeavor? What are you talking about? Why does there have to be a benefit? Why do I have to be getting something or receiving something or benefiting from something in order to do it? You know what I mean? I don't need to like receive or benefit from anything. They attacked you. Yeah, you plead deal. Yeah. Yep, I did. Because again, you just heard the whole explanation, bro. You've asked like 6 questions. You heard the whole explanation. I'm not quite sure what you want me to do here. Like again, if I take it to trial and I'm found guilty, then I've got 2 charges on my shit. Why do the incident in the first place? Because I was filing a records request, brother. I was filing a records request. That's why I went there and did that. All right, that's fine. To you, it might be, but to me, it's not. So that's all that matters. Right? Yeah. Like, did I have to be attacked? Thank you, Lou. Appreciate you, brother, for always posting stuff, keeping it going. Midwest Audit, how you doing? Allie R&B, popping reggae. Appreciate you. You've been showing a lot of love recently. I appreciate you. JT for elevator safety. YouTubebomb.com. Jamie Rico. Appreciate all y'all. Lois Holland, what up, brother? How's everybody doing? Chris Scott. Andrew, what's up, brother? But yeah, so I basically just want to go live for a minute, kind of let you guys know what was going on. Um, I know some dumbass channel is going to try to make a video about. Sorry, it was like a hiccup and a burp at the same time. It was weird, hurt. I know some dumbass channel is going to make a video and be like, he was found guilty, this and that, da da da. So I wanted y'all to hear from me first that I did take the plea deal, that this is what happened, that this is what the conditions of my sentencing were, and this is what's going to happen in the future and where we go from here. Because uh, if anything, I just try to be real with you guys and transparent because that's what I want from the government. That's what I want for those people. I try to do the same thing. I don't always make the best decisions. I don't always make the right decisions, but I try to own up to and be real to the decisions that I do make. So wanted y'all to hear it from me first. That way it wasn't getting lost in translation by some dumbass. And yeah, but for now, I'm going to go ahead, go inside, check on grandma, make sure she's all right, make sure she doesn't need anything. I'm gonna see what the hell the neighbor needed when he was walking up to the house, the car. I don't know where the hell he went. The neighbor was walking over here and he had his shirt off and everything. Well, he was sweating doing some sort of work, but I don't know. Anyway, I appreciate all y'all for coming out and checking. Can you still appeal this to a higher court? No, I cannot. So I ultimately took the plea deal. I cannot appeal this to a higher court just yet. I have 10 days to I have 10 days to file an appeal, 30 days 30 days for something, and 90 days to ask for a modified sentence. So I can ultimately have this brought back up, I believe, for trial in the same court, but I would be in the same boat that I was already in as far as having to go to trial on the 2 cases that were there. So, um, the only way to appeal it to a higher court, the appellate court, would be if I were to lose, but then I would also have to have a good reason to appeal it. At that point, I can't appeal to the appellate court just because I lost. There has to be like there has to be a reason, and the review board would look at that and say, okay, we grant his appeal and we grant his new trial based on these reasons or not based on these. And it usually comes down to like the judge allowing some evidence in that they shouldn't have that damaged your case, or vice versa. They don't allow you to submit evidence that could have exonerated you. um, there's some sort of like ethics violations that happen. There's like, I mean, I don't want to say a gazillion, but there's a good amount of reasons why you can have it appealed and brought up to the appellate court, but it has to be like an actual documented reason. It can't just be like, oh, I lost, so now I'm going to appeal this again. You only get to do that when it comes from district down to circuit court. So if you lose the bench trial, you can appeal to a jury trial because you have that right. But after the jury trial level, going up to the next uh, like municipal level, there has to be like a good enough verified reason why you're appealing it. So, yep, there's no guarantee that if I went and lost the trial that I could have appealed it to the appellate court. I might have lost the trial and not been able to do anything about it and had both these charges on my record and had a year and a half in jail and 5 years of probation and a whole bunch of dumb shit. So yeah, I ultimately did what was best for myself in the situation right now, And yeah, but yeah, LB Strider, what's up, brother? Yeah, you tell him, Lou, whatever's going on. You keep him in line, brother. You keep him in line. I usually don't mind people coming in here and saying whatever the hell they want. They can come in here and disagree with me, but yeah, I do agree with what Lou just said. The personal attacks are sometimes completely unnecessary. If you don't like what I do, that's fine, but like you don't need to personally attack me because you don't like what I do. Shit's stupid. But all right, I'm gonna go get grandma a big hug for you, white girl. I appreciate y'all, everybody coming out, Lou, white girl, the other moderators, everyone that came out, showed love today, all 149 of you and 115 that hit the like button. So y'all be safe out there. I'm gonna get some more videos up. I got a video coming out tomorrow where I went back to Gaithersburg and uh it was where they had the 5 officers come out there and like throw a little hissy fit while I was videotaping at City Hall. So we went and revisited that place. Stay tuned. It's a good video coming out tomorrow. But all right, y'all be safe out there, man. Take it easy. Peace out.